Okay, so hi people. Today I want to talk about my old FNAF AU, which I developed in the late 2020s. It's one of the first times I dove into writing, other than my old spy novel, which I never really published, called The Hunt for Jack Houston. But anyways, I should talk about my old FNAF AU. This AU is so different from the source material that I could literally take my own OCs and stuff and then do the same AU, but it's now my property. I might work on that one later, but for now I can rewrite it. Okay, so meanwhile, y'all can watch me redesign the main cast from my FNAF AU. Okay, so first let's talk about the Aftons and the Emilys. Okay, so let's get started with the Aftons. In my AU, the story starts after Mrs. Afton. Before the story starts, Mrs. Afton was going with Michael to the grocery store in their car, but accidentally got involved in an accident. So she's dead, but Mike survived. In this AU, Mike didn't kill Chris. His other name is Evan, but like I used Chris because it sounded better, and he's much easier. And he's super nice. In this story, the missing children aren't necessarily kids, they're like 14 to 15 years old. I know this decision is very, very controversial, but like writing teens for me is much easier than writing children. And also, the missing children are like the MCs. You'll see later, Chris and everybody. Also, I got rid of the missing kid who was supposed to be Freddy. I will explain that part later in part 2, but let's go back to the Afton family. Anyway, so the Afton family is kind of weird these days. William's old restaurant is in financial hell because of Henry's new restaurant, so there's a little bit of financial problems, and William has to work all day. Elizabeth looks the most like her mom and is also blaming Mike for her mom's death, while Chris is trying to keep the family together and breaking down inside. He considered his golden Fredbear toy as his therapist, so he's in deep. And Mike's practically handling the entire family at 17. Also in this AU, Chris and Liz are twins. Anyways, that was the Afton family. That was the Aftons. The Emily family in the canon was just Charlie and Sammy, her twin brother. I took a lot of the characters from the OG Five Nights at Freddy's novels that I love to read, like the OG 3, the ones where Charlie was the main character. I read the novels, but I have the graphic novel versions. I don't have the actual novels. But in this version, two of the missing children, Susie and Cassidy, are also in this. Are also in the Emily family. They are also twins. Their mom is also dead, but like Henry loves his children and takes care of them. Sure, they do miss their mother, but their father is helping them, so they don't mind. Charlie is the oldest kid and the one in charge when her father is gone because Sammy's way too immature. Charlie's very organized and can be nerdy sometimes, and wakes up at like 4 in the morning to get breakfast ready for everyone. Sammy is a total different story. Sure, he looks like his dad, but he's more of a rebel more than anything. Recently, he learned how to drive, but almost ran over an old lady when he got his license, so nobody wants him to drive. Then Susie had the main character syndrome and was the Sailor Moon fan who believed in love. That was legit her whole personality. There was just nothing else. And then Cassidy was like a tomboy, and then there was nothing else to her personality. Come on, what the hell is this? So I decided to go through the rewrite of the story, and that was just the Aftons and the Emilys. There's like a lot more kind of important characters, and I decided to go with the favorite one that I wrote. Benjamin Miyamoto. Yes, he's the son of Shigeru Miyamoto. I am not making this up. His Japanese name is stolen from Miyamoto's actual son Kenshin. And he wants to grow up to be a manga artist. He's a really good artist and character designer. And he's giving smart but also fun guy vibes from anime. Like, the one dude at MHA who's friends with the MC and has like glasses and like this one random power. I think it's speed or something. Like, I forgot what it was. But like, he was hot, okay? I like Todoroki more. But like, he that dude was hot. Okay, I'm not saying that he looks terrible. I think he had glasses. Anyways, that's also Albert. There's also Albert, the son of Mario and Peach. I am not making this up. My old FNAF AU was this cringe. And then there was Lauren, who was literally looking like a genderbend version of Ben, but without glasses. I did not do that on purpose. And then there was also Jake, who was this red-haired dude? His twin sister was Lauren, in case you were wondering. Anyway, so Chris, Ben, Susie, Cassidy, and Jake become besties, and they're like in their own little friend group. Cause why not? Okay, this AU, it's a lot more complicated. So I'm gonna divide the series into parts. You already saw me making the characters in Gacha in the background while I tell you all about the AU. And now let's talk about the little rewrite this AU is gonna get, cause this is a lot. I decided to give them all a personality, a flaw, and a fear to make things better for me to go forward with the rewrite. Okay, so first let's start with Mike. Mike is a very important character in this AU, even if he is a side character, and he is sort of the parental figure for Liz and Chris right now. Liz really doesn't feel connected to him anymore because he seems more like a parent than a brother, and Chris is attached to him because he's scared he'll end up alone or he'll end up like his dad, a fear that both him and Mike share. He's more of the hardworking older brother with actual problems and has to work really hard to pay the bills and stuff because his dad's company is failing. works at Henry's pizza place and his siblings don't really know where he works. He's a waiter and gets a small break at the afternoon where he goes back home, and on the weekends he's the night guard at the place watching the security cameras. And then Chris is more of an awkward character who has tons of fears and gets frightened easily because he's a nervous person. It's hard for him to make friends even back in childhood because he was nervous and shy. His main fear is similar to his brother's, but he's also afraid of losing his family or hurting the people he loves. His secret is that he thinks he's been going insane, and his main therapist these days is Fredbear, an old plush doll he's had since childhood. And then for Liz, I decided to make her more of an annoying teen trope, like the grumbly ones, the ones who are always on their phone. Although this is set in the 80s, so maybe she's watching TV or some other shit. And the secret that she secretly defames Henry's old pizza place, but not on weekends because she wants to have time to herself on weekends. That's also coincidentally when Mike is the night guard to plot armor, Elizabeth's plot armor. She's scared of being forgotten or left out and being laughed at. That was the Afton kids, and now I should go for the Emily kids. Charlie is generally going to be the same, but she's going to be having a lot more depth. Her father made her this animatronic-like thing that's mental support for her, that's the puppet. And it even talks to her. That's how advanced the AI for it is. I feel like the puppet is maybe haunted by the mother's soul. I cannot confirm nor deny this. I kind of stuck at this part, cause I don't know what to do with that. And the puppet actually helps out Charlie with anxiety issues and stuff. And then Sammy is definitely a rebel-like character, but the twist is that he was the one who accidentally caused the car crash with the Aftons, but no one could find out who was driving the car when the crash was investigated. So he's scared of being exposed and him being a murderer, so he wants to help his family however he can to atone for his crime of accidentally killing Mrs. Afton, and now he wants to find the person defaming his father's pizza place. Then comes Susie. I almost had no ideas for her. That's until ChatGPT came up and freaking saved me. Okay, so now she's a girl who's obsessed with Sailor Moon like before, but now she uses it as escapism from her dark world and actual problems. Susie would be trusting strangers too easily for her flaw. And then for Cassidy, she's the more tomboyish detective of the group. She's low-key the odd one out, which will be more interesting later, I promise y'all. And then her fear is not being able to protect her loved ones, like Sammy's fear as well. Ben's dad is still gonna be Shigeru Miyamoto, but his fatal flaw will be his overworking and procrastination. And lastly, Jake is the guy who's very flamboyant and stuff, but doesn't want to be left alone or abandoned by his friends. And Albert thinks he doesn't have a real life or personality out of his parents' money. His parents own the mall where Honey's planning to open another one of the pizzerias. Okay, so that was part one. Yeah. This AU is actually one of my very first actual stories that I've spent all the time and crafted. So after I'm done working on the entire AU, everything else, maybe, just maybe, I might rebrand it, change the characters' names. But this is giving Stranger Things if it was FNAF, and that was definitely not the vibe that I was going for, because I did not watch Stranger Things back then. I watched it last year maybe, but I did not watch it back then. I was kind of scared of Stranger Things. But yay, it seems really much better than it was before. So yeah, bye.